YouTubers, man, do I have a great video for you guys. This is a good one. This is a good one because people are fighting over which city's got the most corrupt or risky mortgage debt or Mickey Mouse going on in the mortgage sector. And everyone's fighting between Vancouver and Toronto. But in a short time, Toronto's risen to be the king of risky mortgage debt. Sorry, Vancouver, but Toronto's the king of risky mortgage debt. Canadian real estate values continue to soar, and a record number of buyers are piling into risky mortgages, or risky loans. Sorry, I like to call them mortgages because that's the proper term. According to the Bank of Canada, BOC, and the Ministry of Finance, MOF, sounds like mafia, high-ratio mortgage borrowers are extending themselves to the limit. I don't know, I can picture people's TDS at 70, 80%. It's like, I don't understand how the underwriter doesn't see this and say, how does this guy buy food? Like, what does he do? Does food come from heaven? I don't know. Maybe he's falling from heaven. High ratio mortgages, borrowers extending themselves to the limit while covered. How concerning this trend? While we covered. I'm so sorry, people. It's a little screen and it's really squinty on my eyes. While we covered concerning this trend has become in Toronto. It's not just isolated to that city. It's a trend that's growing all across Canadian urban cities. High-risk mortgages. People taking out high-ratio mortgages combined with incomes too low for the property value is spreading across Canada. A high-ratio mortgage is defined as a mortgage where the buyer leaves less than 20% down payment, and the Bank of Canada and MOF have both expressed concern when high-ratio mortgages are paired with high-income to loan ratios, TDS. The amount of high-risk buyers is increasing as the market reach dizzying heights. I'm sorry, people. I'm so out of it this morning. It's early in the morning, but I got to get this article out there. Dizzying heights. Dizzying. It's French, right? Especially in urban areas. Now, the reason why I want to put this out there is because I keep talking about when these deals are underwritten. The lenders have to do what the underwriter says. I have a feeling that it's the underwriters that are at fault with most of these risky mortgages because they're the ones who will approve or decline the deal, period. Vulnerability isn't just the buyer's ability to keep devoting a high percentage of their income to carry payments. Since the number of these buyers are accelerating as prices get higher, they're at greater risk during the correction. Not even a crash. Something as small as a 5% drop in value. And many of these mortgages would be underwater. Underwater industry slang for the buyer has zero or less than zero. So basically when you buy a house, it's worth less than what you bought it for. And that's what kicked off the crash in 2007, 2008 in the United States. People were turning in through their keys to their local banks and saying, I'm not going to pay for a house worth less than what I bought it for. And they drop off the keys. And that's very, very, very common and happening. I've seen it happen. Equity in their homes. If it happens, it would mean already broke homeowners would have to pay to get rid of their home. Combine that with a higher interest rate at renewal, and you can imagine the mayhem that could unfold. Sorry, I gotta zoom this thing in here. I could barely read this damn thing. Hold on. See, this is what you call I'm gonna zoom it in. Come on, control button. There we go. There we go. I can see this now. Woof. Thanks, guys, for bearing with my very poor reading skills here. I can see it now. There we go. So that's what I've been talking about this for years in my rants. Toronto and Vancouver have the highest totals. High ratio mortgages with low income level is a growing trend in Canada, but Toronto and Vancouver take it to the next level. Across Canada, 18% of high-risk mortgages have extremely low incomes for the homes they're in, an increase of 38% in over 2 years. Despite Vancouver's insanely high prices, Toronto still tops the risky business of subprime borrower. Subprime, stay away from subprime. Making your home equity work for you. Subprime borrowers. Toronto takes the top spot with 53%, 53 points. And Toronto's a bigger city. increase during the same period, bringing their total to 49%. Coming in second is Vancouver, which had 25% increase over the past 2 years, bringing the total to 39%. These two cities are moving much faster than average for the country. They're getting too dangerously at high levels. So here's the graphs right here. This is the loan to income ratios. This is the total debt service ratio. So first quarter 13, Q3, third quarter 2015, third quarter 16, and it's showing you right here. Oh, that's a beautiful graph, actually. It goes right across Canada from coast to coast. I like that. Trend is going across Canada, although Toronto and Vancouver take the cake. This also trend is going across Canada, albeit with the lower impact. Over the past 2 years, Calgary saw a 23% increase of high-ratio mortgages with a risk-to-income ratios totaling 32%. Montreal saw a 30% increase over the past 2 years, bringing their total to 13%. Ottawa, Gatineau, I can't even read that because I don't understand French. I only speak Portuguese and Spanish. Saw the massive 62.5 increase, bringing their total to 13%. Meanwhile, quiet little Halifax saw a 40% increase in total of 7%. So while the issue is growing across Canada, it has reached the crisis heights of Toronto and Vancouver yet. While Toronto and Vancouver are leading the market for risky mortgage debt, they aren't alone. Canada has dodged the real estate commodity cycle for almost 30 years. I told you yesterday's video how I was talking about how Canada should have fallen with the U.S. Instead of the rest of the English-speaking world watching the U.S. crumble and go into that huge recession in 2007, which they should have let it crumble and go to zero and then start over, the U.S. would be in better conditions now. Canada has been, pulling stuff out of their sleeves and propping it, keeping it going. This produced a whole generation of people that have no idea that the real estate's is a cynical market. The irrational exuberance of the thoughts that this market will never end is placing homeowners in a precarious situation. Guys, this is a big deal, and I want people to know, get this out there, get this video out there. It's really important because a lot of people are not understanding what's going on. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get a job and buy a house, and then when they realize that they get the job, they got no house. A lot of people are stuck with student loan debt, so they get the mortgage, but they get no house. So they're stuck paying a student loan debt for the next 1,000 years of their life. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Comment below. I love your comments. And the people that are trashing me, keep up the good work, because this is going to help this problem. Trashing me will help you a lot. Keep up the good work. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think.